The future mounting of strain gauges during manufacturing of formwork may be protected inside the steel profile. If you could do that, that would be great. Further development is needed of formwork systems with pressure sensors and gauges and use of finite element method. Gauges fitted with battery-equipped transmitters. That means fewer cables. Involve contractors and formwork manufacturers, communication and development. Is it possible to let the concrete producers be responsible for the casting? That would mean a clearer link between concrete properties and pressure. This is one photo from Montreal, where the conference was held. And the last one is from the Mount Royal. And somewhere there you can see the Sheraton Hotel somewhere. Thank you. This was the last slide.
Okay, thank you, Richard. Thank you very much for your presentation. What I forgot in this at the beginning of your presentation is that everybody who wants and has some questions for you can ask them through the window in the right middle or right corner, the Q&A. If somebody would type there a question, it would arrive only with you. So at this moment, if anybody has a question for you, he can type it over there. I would say that we take another 10 minutes waiting if anybody has a question, and otherwise we finalize this session.
I hope it didn't go too fast. I'll go back to the most interesting slide. Is the relationship between pressure sensors and strain. This was the most important slide actually in the presentation. As you can see, from day to day, good repeatability and very linear. Someone is writing, I can't see your presentation. Okay, here's a question from Benoit Parmentier. Did you test and measure different casting speeds on site? Yes. What we did was to increase the speed at the end of the casting, the last 4 ones. So that will be the next paper when we compared different casting rates with the pressure and so on. But we should have done that more. Unfortunately, it was difficult to change it in the beginning because of different circumstances. But yes, we increased the casting rate. I think the last casting was 3 meters per hour, and it worked actually. So, but then I really had to check the pressure, the computer. I hope you're satisfied with the answer.
Well, they can't reply to you, not orally. They might put it on the Q&A. I can see a second question.
Can I see another question?
Yes. One of the colleagues here who asked if there's a possibility to obtain a presentation copy, and with your permission, we could put it on our website.
I think it's because it's one of the proceedings in Montreal. I think I had to check with my boss, but I think it's okay. But if it's protected and so on, so let me check that out. If it's like a PDF, and
yeah.
Is it okay if I have to check with my professor? But I think it's okay, but I have to get back. In that case, could you communicate that with the attendees, Nikki?
Yes, I think everybody heard it, so...
yeah, okay.
So I think everybody is waiting for your reply.
Yes, okay. I think it would be okay, but still I need to check it. This was a very interesting project, and as I said, it was totally 1,400 meters. If you divide that with 12, and then you know how many castings, how many measurements we could have done. But it was kind of actually a lot of work, of course, to do all these measurings. So still, very interesting project. And the next paper will be concrete properties related to formwork pressure. More questions?
Maybe I have a little question actually. If you say that you have a 10% reduction in cost, it's purely by reducing the extra elements that you otherwise add for reinforcing the formwork, or you mean in general by using SCC?
General by using SCC, because this was, of course, a contractor who really thought, had to think carefully. So that means reduce the work time, and of course reduce the costs for pokers, vibrators, and lower time for the pump to stand there, because they charge the pump by hours. So they did a calculation. It's very hard to do a calculation, but they did. So this was their answer, 10%.
Yeah. Okay, because usually in Belgium we always assume that if we use SCC, it might cost more, certainly not less.
You mean to pay the concrete? Okay. You mean the price for the concrete?
Yes, and it's not easy to compensate it by other means. But this is a very nice example that can be done.
Yes, of course, and I think, of course, the ready-mix concrete manufacturer out there, of course, they had some kind of document. They had what do you call it? Negotiated about the price, because it was a big project, and this was an estimated. And I believe in that too, because I've heard other people say that you really have to plan. My next paper will be about saving labor, so you really have to think outside the box. And all the workers you don't need because you don't need to vibrate. You have to give them other tasks. So this is we need to think outside the box.
Okay.
But I realized that the cost for the pump truck is quite high, actually. But I've heard that maybe it's 10% more, I don't know, 5 or 10% more. The price is 10% higher for SCC than normal concrete. But still, they calculated to overall cost reduction of 10%. Other questions?
I see a new question for you. Quite
okay.
Quite a difficult one, I think.
Yes, okay, I will see.
But
it's the same, Benoit, Parmentier. I think it sounds French, is it?
Yeah, it's one of my colleagues.
Okay. Had the choice of SCC an impact on the joints? Type and number. Had the choice of SCC an impact on the joints? What do you mean by joint?
I suppose the joints between two concreting faces.
Castings.
Two castings.
Sorry?
Yes.
Type and number. I don't understand the question because type and number of joints. I need to know what the joint is. I'll go to the yes, the photo of the instrumented foreman. If he could say what joint is.
Well, yeah.
We have tie bars, and I don't know if he means joints. As you can see in the rims of the instrumented element, there are kind of the metal locks. Is that what you mean by joint?
But usually, if we speak about joints, it's the joint between two castings. So you stop your casting somewhere, and then you take the next one.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's like the surface. As I said, we had 12-meter sections, and we casted all sections in one time. So one casting, 12 meter, 6 meter high.
Okay.
So maybe I don't know if the sections had been different, if they were traditional vibrated concrete. I don't know. I can't answer that.
Okay. So if there are no more questions, I would like to thank you again for your presentation. If somebody would have some questions afterwards, they can always mail us and we can forward the question to you.
Yes. And feel free to ask more questions. And someone is writing in Swedish. Tack så mycket. Det var intressant. Is that a Google Translate or someone knows Swedish? Steven Verkauteren.
That's possible.
Tack så mycket. Thank you very much. It was a nice experience to do this, and very good for the environment. So.
Okay, then I think we can close this session.
Okay.
And I would say I would invite you on one of the next sessions, but they will be in Dutch, the next one, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe I have to learn some Dutch.
The next will be 22 December from our professor from the University of Ghent, Professor Touwe, and he will be talking about concrete skyscrapers in Shanghai. So I invite all the attendees as well at this appointment. So hope to see you all next time. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.